Hey everyone, welcome to the 10x Your Success Story Online Summit, where 30 experts will share their skills, secrets, and shortcuts to help you achieve your most ambitious dreams. My name is Jeric, and I am your host. Our guest is the man behind the Freelance Blend podcast. He's a digital marketing and sales funnel strategist for his company, Freelance Blend. His mission is to build a community that champions the Filipino freelancers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Marv De Leon. Hi, Marv. How are you doing?
Hello. Hello, Jerry. Good morning to you,
Good morning
and good morning, good evening, good afternoon to
to everyone
all
who's
the
listening.
viewers of our
How are you?
summit. I'm good. I'm good. It's a lovely and hot summer day,
Awesome.
but very honored to be invited to this virtual summit. I think maybe one of the first virtual summits in our industry.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I congratulate you
Thank you. Thank you
in
for
advance.
thank you for spending a time with us. Now let's get to the the interview itself, because I'm really interested in asking you. You said to us that your core skill is digital marketing strategy and being an all-around digital marketing guy, right? How did
Yes.
you start learning this core skill, and how did this help you 10x your success story?
All right. So yeah, thank you for that, Jerry. So you could say that I started just recently, in fact. So my backstory is I was working in the corporate world for 17, 18 years,
Oh,
and
that's a
then
long
I
time.
discovered and it's totally not related to what I'm doing now, which is my core skill, which is digital marketing. So while I was in the corporate world, I was like any typical Filipino who wants to, or any person who wants to earn extra online, was to Google how to earn online, and I came across different resources, and even one of those was the Smart Passive Income podcast by Pat
Pat
Flynn.
Flynn, yeah.
So from there, I learned digital marketing. And since when I was a child, I wanted to have my own radio program. So I was playing with our cassette tape. I'm not sure if you millennials have heard
Yes.
cassette. That was our gadget before, and I was doing radio shows with my sisters, and I really loved it. So somehow, when podcasting became popular, and I learned of that you can create your own show just online and from your home. So I thought of creating a podcast, and but I didn't know what topic to talk about. I wanted to have a local version of Smart Passive Income, but I thought that it was too broad. And then I attended this for my first time I attended a conference about freelancing. So that was 5 years ago, probably, the freelance
Hmm.
camp. It's no longer They no longer run it, but it opened my eyes to um, um, the scope and the beauty of freelancing. That I was surprised that there were more than 100 people there and who are into freelance. And at the same time, um, I was amazed by the speakers who were earning online. And so I thought of inviting them to my podcast, which was not really existing at that time. And so that pushed me to create that podcast called the
Yeah.
Freelance Blend Podcast. So that's how I knew nothing about freelancing. I knew nothing about digital marketing. So that's how I learned, how I developed my core skill. Is from interviewing people like what we're doing right now. I interview them, and
Hmm.
so it was sort of selfish because I learned from the best, and I applied what they were doing. At the same time, I was learning digital marketing, learning podcasting, and yeah, learning email marketing, Facebook advertising at the same time, because I had to. let people learn or hear about my podcast online. So that's how I sort of developed my skill through the years, and that was five ano ba mga 5-6 years ago, and it's podcast is still running. It's just
Wow.
that we're on a break right now, but it will be there forever.
Yeah, I'm actually listening to the Freelance Blend podcast, and to those who are watching this and listening to us right now, you might want to consume that podcast because it teaches about everything about freelancing and how you could get your first clients, and that it gives the tools that freelancers need to start their freelancing business. So yeah. Now, I'm
Thank
really
you
curious,
for
Marv, what pushed you to jump the gun? I mean, to resign from your corporate job and go ahead and explore freelancing.
it's sort of a long story, but so it was a calculated risk,
Mm-hmm.
because apart from being burned out from my job, um, I also have offline businesses. So an offline business, a preschool. So I was sort of banking on that as my as the income that will replace my full-time job. So and then I was planning to continue to grow the podcast because I wasn't earning that much
Mm-hmm.
from Blend at the time. So my plan was to be sort of like a principal for a preschool that we owned, and then on the side continue working on Freelance Blend because I was while I was in the corporate world. I was doing the podcast during weekends and after office. So I still had somehow an alternative income, which is being sort of that manager or principal of that preschool. So I left. I just gave my resignation letter, and then as I told my partner that so I can take over the school. So I resigned, and then like a few days or a week after, I met with my partner for that school, and I told him we were supposed to meet and talk about my next steps, how to run that school. But then he asked me, Marv, is this really your passion? Is this something that you really want to do? And then I didn't give a straight answer. I was wishy-washy. I just said,
Yeah.
yes, yes. 'Cause I didn't have any experience running a school. So it was
Mm-hmm.
just, you know, I just decided to do that to, because of money, because I needed something to replace my corporate income that I lost. So he said, okay, so it seems that you're not really decided. So just do what you're doing. I'll take care of the school. And then, so there. So what happened, long story short, is so I really had to think of ways on how to monetize Freelance Blend and how to. So yeah, since Freelance Blend was still young at the time, I realized that it will be hard to earn instantly or replace the income that I lost instantly. So I needed to think of another stream of income, which was freelancing. So I
Mm-hmm.
sort of applied what I learned from my interviewees and started applying for gigs, and also started coaching. And that's how to answer your question, that's how it was really sort of a calculated risk that I took. But yeah, 5, 6 years after, I have no regrets doing that.
That's actually a good point because, I mean, when I first started freelancing, I didn't really took notice of the risks. I just jumped and without a plan. So if you're thinking about freelancing, it would be good to calculate the risk and how you're, it would be good if you have a plan B for your plans, and if you have a reserve cash, right?
Yeah, especially well, for me personally, a good thing that, yeah, working for two companies, well, technically just was one company, and was able to get a retirement
Mm-hmm.
plan. So I have that emergency fund and investment fund at the same time. As I said, I had that preschool business, and also I have a rental property income. So I still, again, it was, I didn't just, jump.
Yep.
So I wouldn't advise that. Especially that I have two kids, I have a family. So maybe if you're young, if you're a millennial, or you just graduated from college, then no problems. But for somebody like me who has a
Mm-hmm.
family to support, so you have to really plan it, and it really has to be a calculated move. You
Exactly.
have
Yeah.
to um, discuss it with your partner. And that's what I did.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing your story, Marv. I'm really interested in this. Um, in everything that you have experienced, is there anything else that you are looking to, experience on the next few years? Like, what's your vision of the next 5 years, and what's driving you to achieve those?
Okay, so yeah, my vision is to continue to grow the community, the freelance blend, the freelancing community, not just freelance blend. Um, since I started, yeah, many years ago, I am a witness to the growth of freelancing, and I'm happy to be I'm lucky to be a part of it, and to be able to contribute. So through my events, through my meetups, and they say that uh, the the meetups allowed the different freelancers who were not known publicly to connect with each other and become to form their own communities. And I'm proud to say that Freelance Blend was a part of that. So I plan to continue doing more of that, to continue helping the community. And so yeah, I see Freelance Blend in 5 years to still be there, and to still producing content, whether it's the podcast, a blog, or even events. And I see that um, the freelancing community in general will probably double or triple or 10x, same as the title of your conference, 10x in 5 years. So, and I would wish to still be a part of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's really a good plan, because these offline events really increases the bond between freelancers. I mean, it increases the, because it's hard to work alone, right? So going to these kind of events renews your energy, and aside from that, you get to know other people who are on the same path as you, right?
Mm,
Okay.
agree.
um Now let's go to the meat and potatoes of our interview, because you know uh we are always asking this to our guests. Let's say hypothetically that you lose everything. I mean, knock on wood, right? That you lose everything. I mean, you don't have your network, you don't have your money, your assets, your reputation, your business. Everything was, you're back to square one, and your bills are starting to pile up, right? What are the next 3 steps that you're going to do to regain everything that you have?
Mm. Yeah, I like that hypothetical question, because I somehow experienced that,
Oh,
except for the money part. But starting from scratch, I think as freelancers, we experience that we always start from scratch.
yeah.
And you said that assuming I have no network, so that's what I'll do first is to rebuild my network. So that could be um, whether both offline and online. So offline, I look for meetups because when I started, 5 6 years ago, meetup.com is not that big, but I noticed it's a growing platform. And now I believe I have like 1,000 plus members, and I see the communities there growing. So uh, I know that if I go there, I can attend meetups where my target market would congregate. So if I'm targeting local, so probably um, um, startup meetups or business meetups. If I can find one, what I'll do is I'll create my own meetup. I'll
Mm-hmm.
start my own meetup. Meetup.com, which is what I did exactly. I'll do it again. I'll start another meetup depending on where on the topic that I want to uh, focus on and the target where my target market congregates or hangs out. So that's number one. Rebuild my network and connect with as much people as possible. Okay, so yeah. Step two, so three steps now. So step two is to so once I build that network, collect all those. I have a calling card here. I don't know why. Collect all those. So what I do, just an extra tip during meetups, I collect all those calling cards, and then I scan them on my Evernote, and then it automatically adds to my contact list, and then I connect with those people. You can also automatically connect with them on LinkedIn just by
Mm-hmm.
scanning Evernote. So that's what I did before, and I'll do that again. So once I do that, I'll probably select from those people I connected with, and connect with them one on one, and then ask to meet with them for coffee or maybe just a Zoom call and just understanding their problems. So what's keeping them up at night? What's sort of somehow related to marketing?
Mm-hmm.
Um, if they're having problems with getting leads for their business or getting customers, so I'll just interview them like what I do with my podcast, understanding my interviewee or the client. So once I understand their problems, and then the next step will be offering solutions to them. If it's something that I can help them with, I can offer it either for free or for a small amount or even a premium amount, depending on the prospect. If it's something that I can't help them with, it's not within my core skill, then I'll refer them to a friend. So that it shows that um, I'm there to help, even if you
Mm-hmm.
hire me or so. Yeah, those are my three steps: rebuild my network, understand the problems of my prospects, and then three, offer solutions, whether uh, offer my service or another person's service.
Okay.
And that's how I'll do it.
All right. Thank you for sharing. Let's just dissect that, right? So you said that step one would be to rebuild your network, and you said that if you don't have or if you don't find any events that fits your target market, you're going to create one. Can you guide us through your step-by-step process on how you're going to create one? Let's say that you now have an account on meetup.com. How are you going to grow it, and how are you going to advertise the event?
Mhm. Okay. Just a caveat. Meetup.com is a paid platform. So
Mhm.
I'm not sure if it's how much is this right now, but when I started it was like um, 200 pesos or 100 pesos a month.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, depending on the plan that you get, but that's what I started with. So I think if you have zero money, it's easy to borrow 100 pesos a month or 200 pesos a month. So go to meetup.com because the good thing that for people who create events there, if it's a paid platform, and it's free for people to most meetups. It's free for people to attend. The positive thing that of with being a paid platform is that uh, me as an attendee, I know that it events are of quality. It's not, anyone can just create a meetup.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so what I'll do, yeah, I'll create an account. I'll if I mentioned earlier, if it's the topic is let's say your target market will startup, so I'll just create an event related to startups. So um, your meetup account should have that startup name, or it has to convey that it's a startup. Because if you're a new if it's a new profile, people you won't have followers yet, so it has to be in sync with your branding. And also here's where the copywriting comes in. So the title should be related to startups, and
Mm-hmm.
also the copy. So it's like similar to creating a Facebook event. So there's a part where you put the description, and then it's as easy as putting there the details of the place, the venue, the date, and then the description, and then whether you'll be collecting, if it's free or not, and you just simply publish it, and then it's there. So at the same time you can test. So that's what I did. So just make sure to um, especially if you're in Manila, so it's accessible. So when I started, I chose Coffee Bean in Greenbelt, Makati. So I know that it's central location, and it's where you can hang out there without being because I know that Starbucks would probably be full. So Greenbelt, uh, Coffee Bean Greenbelt, there's a place there outside where it's big, so you can have like 20 to 30 people there. So that's what I did actually. I look for an event place, and then of course the date. So give it time for Meetup to sort of promote it, or to appear on the news feed. So yeah, probably plan it for like a month, at least a month ahead, so that you would see if yeah, people will be signing up. So yeah, and decide if people are not signing up, then maybe it's the wrong topic, or it's the wrong market. Then you can just rinse and repeat, keep on trying. But I was lucky enough that my first try, about 30 people showed up at
Wow.
Coffee Bean Greenbelt. So, uh, in fact, that gave me the motivation to um, pursue with the podcast, pursue with Freelance Blend, and I'll do that again.
Mhm.
Maybe they'll meet up, or Eventbrite, or even a Facebook event or Facebook group.
All right. So it all starts with really, creating um, an event page wherein the information are there. I mean, the title of the event needs to be clear. It needs to call out to your target market and what they are going to learn. And then the details needs to be there. So it could be on meetup.com or Facebook events, right? Facebook events are free. Meetup
Yeah.
is paid, right? So
Yes.
you could create simultaneously, and then try to advertise it organically. I mean, you said give it like at least a month to appear on the
Yeah.
newsfeed of people. So you could also promote it, for a couple of weeks already. So thank you for sharing that. I mean, meetups are really a lot, especially in our industry. It does a lot of things, right? It
Yeah.
connects us with people, and you know um, it's not every day that you always meet people, especially when you work at home. That's why going to these events are really good. So next, you said that your step two would be to understand their problems, right? And what keeps them awake at night. Why do you think this important?
Yeah, I think it's important because you can't just offer your services to somebody, um, because you don't know if they need help.
Yeah.
So will it might only just piss off somebody you just met. So if you just people don't want to be sold to. So if you just offer your service, or be very makulit. I don't know I forgot what's makulit in English, but you're very annoying maybe. So your goal of eventually turning them into a client will not happen. So it's very important, and for you to understand if you are the person to help them. Because if you just offer your service, and then let's say the person agrees, but turns out that the you're not you won't be able to help that person, then you also waste you're not only the person's time but your own time. So it's great to focus on that second step to really understand all everything that person is experiencing every day. And it doesn't have to be related to business, maybe even personal,
Yeah. True.
going through a breakup. So you don't just build business relationships, but personal relationships, because you met this person face to face. So you don't know, maybe you can work in the future together, maybe not, but at least you gained a new connection, you gain a new friend. And it's very important now, especially that especially with online thing, people are just meeting online, but there's less physical connections. So and I think with that, physical connections are more powerful. And that I've experienced that because yeah, I've met people through events, and they've become my lifelong friends. So you can't really discount that. Yeah.
Yeah.
um, Understanding problems and building relationships.
I really like the point that you said, Marv, that it's about understanding if we could help people, because we can just push our services and push our solutions to a problem that they don't have, right? And we see this on Facebook, and even in LinkedIn, right? We receive cold messages where they pitch us on how they could help our business without knowing really if we have a problem about that. So I think that's a good point, and you've explained it magnificently. So thank you for
Thank
that. And then, so your step one would be to again um, start building your network. Then step two would be learning about your target market and what keeps them awake at night. Then last is your step three, which is offer your solution, whether it's free or paid. Um, how are you transitioning from learning what keeps them awake to offering them the solution to their problems? Like it's like pitching um, your services.
you. Um, so it's really well. I'd like to give props to John Pagulayan. I learned from him, the John method. So I've been practicing that, and I've
Mhm.
also sort of um, refined that through the different um, clients or prospects that I've worked with. So after I've understood the problems, and I usually take notes and understanding taking notes on the pain points and the problems, and then finding a solution. Let's say this person is not able to, let me think of a current client. So this person would like to launch
Mm-hmm.
uh, e-commerce an e-commerce brand, and would like uh, to create a funnel that will generate customers for him. So and after understanding the problems, so what I do for this client, I'm an overall digital marketing strategist, and I also do the implementation. So what I'll do is after I understand the problems, offer the solution. Let's say if the problem is if one of the problems is he wants to move away from Amazon, which is his current how he currently sells his products, and he wants to move to a separate a separate he wants a separate way to earn apart from Amazon. So the solution will be a funnel. So I'll create a funnel strategy for this person, and also how to market that brand. So in short, I create a plan, and that will include how to address the problem, and um, reach the goal of earning outside of Amazon. So funnel, Facebook advertising, chatbots, etc. So that's just one example of how I do it. So basically, addressing each pain point through a plan, through a proposal, and then and that's where the client will decide the prospect will decide whether to accept it or reject it.
All right. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, that's really a step-by-step guide from knowing the the problem of your prospect to creating a strategy, and I think that's very doable for us. And so once we know the problem, that's the time we try to think of a solution for that problem. And if we can't, just like what you said earlier, we can point them to the right person who could help them, right? We don't actually need to do everything, but if we know it's not within our core skills, then we can point them to someone who can really help them. All right, thank you for that. So we're down to the last question, Marv, and it's all about your contribution. What are you looking to contribute to the world, and how are you planning to achieve that?
Yeah, I feel like Miss Universe. um, yeah. My mission is to simply champion the Filipino freelancer. And I always hear, being in the community for quite some time, I always hear all the success stories. That's there could it's either like a person with a disability being able to earn online, doesn't need to have a job that will be physically taxing, that stops them from earning. So stories like that, or even FWs who are abroad but also trying to start a freelance business, and eventually once that freelance business is thriving, they can now come home and be with their families. So and I think my job as somebody who is championing the Filipino freelancer is still not over. By count, we have about 2 million Filipino freelancers. It's not official, but more or less 2 million. OFWs, we have about 10 million.
Mhm.
So, and we have like, yeah, our population 100 million. So I think the future is bright and there's more work to be done. And I'm glad that when I started, it was just a few people. I'm just one of those who were talking about what, maybe one of two, one of three talking about freelancing. But now you go to your Facebook, type freelancer, you have dozens of influencers, and that is good because it will really have a ripple effect, and it will we can reach 10 million freelancers in maybe 3-5 years and more. So I'm happy that I was able to start something early, and as I said earlier, build those connect people. They call me the connector, or the boy abunda of freelance. I sort of discovered the successful freelancers now on my podcast. There's John Pagulayan, Alan Ngo, Liberty Baldovino, etc., etc. Um, so that's my mission, is to help millions of Filipinos um, gain employment, or or eliminate unemployment in the country through freelancing. Because it's not as hard as our traditional as traditional jobs. I mean, getting traditional jobs, and um, I think through the podcast and through events, people are starting to notice us. So I just need to continue pushing and creating content, and just spreading the love of freelancing.
Boom. I mean, that's really a good mission to have. Um, I really know that it's inspiring to, if you are, out there helping people build, their freelancing careers. So thank you for sharing what you are looking to contribute in the next few years. Um, Thank you for your time, Marv. And do you have any free, resources for us to consume?
Again, thank you. First of all, thank you, Jeric, for this amazing interview. It's again, it's an honor to be part of this virtual summit, and thank you as well to Raf for reaching out to me. Always, I always say yes to these invitations, as much as I can. So again, first of all, thank you for having me, and thank you to the community, to everyone watching right now. I hope I was able to help you, and I'm always available online. So the free resource, the podcast is free. So
Mhm.
you just download this, just search for Freelance Blend podcast, or just go to freelanceblend.com. And I'd appreciate if you could subscribe to the podcast. So we are on Apple Podcasts. So if you have an iOS device, just download the podcast app and search for Freelance Blend. So if you don't have an iOS device, if you have Android or any other device, just uh, Spotify is available in all devices. So just search for Freelance Blend. And I also have a YouTube channel, same title, Freelance Blend. So I would appreciate if you guys just say hi, comment there, or subscribe. And if you have questions, you can just message me on Facebook, Marv De Leon.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for that. We're going to paste the link at the bottom of the video. So the Freelance Brand podcast and the website would be uh, at the bottom of the video. Again, thank you for spending the time with us, Marv, and sharing your stories and your secrets to success. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.